Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience.
When praises go up, do I have some praisers still left on this Sunday afternoon? Break out your praise right quick and let this witch know, let this demon or devil know.
Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience.
Well, this is the Thursday night edition of the Greater Experience, and we're excited to be with you. Thank you for being a partner. Thank you for being a supporter. Thank you for praying with us. We are just excited about everything that God is doing for such a time as this, and it's an incredible time. It's a time of insight. It's a time of engagement. It's even a time of elevation. And I have my partner in life, my ace Boon Coon, my ride or die with me, the first lady of my life, Lady Robin. Hello. See how short that is. Hello. Hello. And tonight we're focusing on marriage and family. This week marked 30 years of us being together, 27 years of marriage, and we're still together by the grace and goodness of God. And I think these times are really speaking to us the importance of partnership, the importance of family, the importance of unity, the interdependence that God has given us for one another. This man, you sing a song, love the one you're with, and if you can't love the one you want, love the one you're with. Well, in times like these, when you're quarantined, I don't know if you can love the one you're with, and yeah, I think it's important to love the one you're with. And so tonight, we want to engage with you through this platform. You'll be able to give comments as questions, and they'll come up on the screen. And we want to be very transparent because we meet so many individuals. We meet singles who today are just amazed that you could stay with one person for 30 years. And how is it that the preacher and a wife and a pastor and a wife, a bishop and a wife, how do y'all make it? And how have you made it? And what are some of the secrets and so on and so forth? And then we meet leaders. One of the things we've looked at is many of the people who were married 30 years ago, many of the people that we were in fellowship with, their marriages have been dissolved, and ours is still going strong. And I think that one of the things that we have learned in building a family, one of the things that we've learned in building a marriage and building a healthy relationship is what you don't build won't last. The Bible talks about when you get ready to go to war, when you get ready to build something, counting the cost. And relationship is expensive, not just financially, but there's an emotional economy, there's a spiritual economy, there is a psychological dynamic to it. And many people today don't want to invest in relationships, believe it or not. We are so disposable, we are so transient, we are so temporal that we don't want to make the investment in relationship. And relationship of any kind requires a relationship of investment. And so we want to share tonight and be very as transparent as we can without telling it all. We can't tell it all, or we're not going to tell it all. We'll tell some of it, but we want to tell you enough and share enough. And one of the things, the reason why this is my 25th year pastoring and over 40 years of ministry, and I have learned the ups and downs of engagement with people, interacting with people, and have done my very best to be kind of sort of what you see is what you get. I don't have a lot of fillers, don't have a lot of thrills, don't have no smoke and no mirrors. And so we may even share some things tonight that you may be totally juxtaposed to. But guess what? What you're going to find out is what works for you doesn't always work for everybody else. And you got to work with what you got to work with. And so I want to I want to invite you to be engaged with us, be involved with us, interact with us, and we're going to have a great time on tonight. At the bottom of the screen are opportunities that you're going to be able to sow and you're going to be able to contribute, you're going to be able to give. And one of the things we built our relationship on is givers. One of the most memorable moments, our church that we attended together, Sweet Holy Spirit Church, and Bishop Trotter had a dollar a day campaign. And at that time, I was only making $200 a week. I had to pay child support, nearly $400 a month. And you just do the math. You figure it out for yourself. And Bishop Trotter had urged the leaders to commit to the dollar a day campaign. 365. It was the first 365 campaign we had at Sweet Holy Spirit. And I stood up out of nowhere, not to give the 365, to give the whole 365 at one time, which was 2 weeks pay at one time. And I can tell you from that time to this, God has not only sustained me personally, God has sustained us corporately as a family. And we've never seen a time that God has not brought us through. We've never seen a time when God has not responded to us. And that scripture is right. I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging bread. And my wife and I, we met so many couples that want so much and give so little, want so much and contribute so little, want God to allow a harvest in fields where they have not sown. And so I cannot urge you enough tonight, and I'm sharing with you tonight because we're full, we're not like other people. We're full time, 100% in ministry. We've been full time in ministry for 25 years, and God has sustained us. He has taken care of our family, our sons, Tavis and Tavel, taken care of our extended family. We've never seen a day, we've never seen a week, we've never seen a month or a year that God has not taken care of us. So, hey, this is Let's Stay Married. I have a very special guest. She's a very prominent lady. We flew her in tonight for this very special time with you. We flew her in on a skateboard to share with you tonight. She is the love of my life. Without contradiction, I don't have a side piece. I don't have a side chick. I don't have a jump off. I don't have none of that. She's well able to satisfy all that I need and all that I want in this life from a woman. And that's the love of my wife, love of my life. Got me so tongue tied. I'm just that got me tongue tied. The love of my life, Lady Robin Grant. Talk to the people. Speak to the people.
Well, hello. Some people have asked, we want to start from the beginning. They want to know how we met. And I think that is
just tell the truth. Because your father
I'm
is
tell the
deceased.
truth about mine.
Your father is deceased.
Tell the truth. 30 years ago,
tell the truth.
He was trying to be very impressive.
I was.
And he called my house and told my father, he said, hello, may I speak to Robin? Let her know this is Reverend Grant. real loud. So from the very beginning, he was the love of my life from the minute I met him. However be it, he tried to be very
Did you
impressive.
answer the phone?
Look,
Did you answer the phone?
anyhow, that's how we met. And I met him at Rainbow Push 30 years ago. He was one of the ministers there. And until how you met
I was a
me.
staffer.
You
at
was
Rainbow
that,
Push.
yeah, you were staff.
When I called your daddy, Deacon Larry Flanoy, Lawrence Flanoy, when I answered the phone, when I said, this is Reverend Grant.
Very
He
loud.
was so excited that Reverend Grant, the Reverend Grant, was calling that he dropped the phone. He was
So he
hollering to
could
the
have said
house.
Tavis.
Robin!
He did say Tavis.
Reverend Grant is
This
on
is
the
30 years
phone.
ago.
Reverend Grant, don't let Reverend wait. And he come back to the phone. Reverend, you still there? I said, I'm still here, Deacon. Reverend, hold on. Don't let go. Don't let go. I can hear him screaming through the house. I can see him screaming through the house. Bless his heart. He's in glory now. He was so excited that Reverend Grant called Robin.
Yeah. So, well, they want to know a little bit more. How did we know that we wanted to be in
I don't know. I didn't know none of that.
For those who live in
I
Chicago,
don't know nothing.
we're Evergreen Plaza.
Yeah, but I was a staffer at that time, Operation Push. It was being transitioned into Rainbow Push under Reverend Jesse Jackson. And we had an outreach, like a next generation entity called the Young Adult Network. And so a couple of young ladies, they was trying to holler at you, boy, and whatnot. And so they call themselves, trying to, set her up with somebody else. So they invited her sorors, she's a Delta. They invited her to the Young Adult Network. And so she wore this pink dress. Now this is like a Tuesday night meeting with young professionals, doctors and lawyers and so on and so forth. And so she wears this pink knit dress, and it was banging. It was hitting every curve and corner all at the same time. And so I had a group, I had a committee in the Young Adult Network. And when she walked in, I said, "You gonna be on my committee." And I made her a member of my committee. You see, she's still with the committee. And so that's how we met. That's how we met. I don't know nothing about it. I'm not gonna tell y'all I heard no word from the Lord, no clouds, or no voice from God. I mean, I was recovering from divorce and was trying a single father, wanted to raise my son and be a good father, try to be the best father I could be, trying to clean up my life, get myself together, because I had no intentions on having another divorce or getting involved in another marriage that didn't work out. So I ain't hear all that. I ain't go to no prophet. I ain't go to no prophetess. I asked nobody to pray for me. I wasn't really even looking for nobody like her, because we were totally opposite. I'm from the street. She from the suite. I went to public school. She went to private school. And so we were from just two different backgrounds, right?
West side, South side.
What you trying to say?
Well, you said we were totally different, so I'm just making it clear.
Okay. All right.
West side of Chicago.
Don't start no stuff now. Don't start no stuff, because West side is best side.
Okay. What's some tips? What are some tips that you can give young people to hang in there?
Well, the first tips is learn how to survive bad cooking. As y'all seen last week, I'm the fried chicken king. And you gotta learn.
My fried chicken was good.
I didn't say it wasn't good, but good ain't great.
Monty told you.
Good ain't great. And I got serious that good ain't great. So you gotta be great. So time to elevate your game. Mm-hmm. No, but I think that one of the things that we have learned is you gotta learn how to give and take. And it's a lot of taking, and sometimes very little giving, and then there's a lot of giving and very little taking. It's that ebb and flow in a relationship that you recognize that you are different, and the person you married is different, and neither one of you in and of yourself can change the other person. And there's a threshold of acceptance that you come to in a relationship, because I tell couples all the time, love is blind, but marriage will open your eyes. And in many instances, it's so much overcompensation while you're dating and so on and so forth. One of the things that, because of my situation at the time, I couldn't hide being a father. I couldn't hide going through divorce. I couldn't hide not necessarily having a stable home situation. I couldn't hide my financial circumstance. So most of my stuff was out front. Wasn't nothing to camouflage of that nature. And it was a as is. Sometimes you go to a car lot and you see one car got a warranty and another one in as is. That means you're gonna take it, and whatever it ends up, that's the way it ends up. And I think in a lot of times people go into relationships with all of these preconceived, hey Bessie, all these preconceived notions, all of these ideas of that's somebody that knew me back then. Bessie,
Bishop, let me say
Bessie,
this, when you
Bessie
say
had me.
as is, I knew the potential.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I knew you had potential.
Oh, I had potential.
So I didn't see it as is.
Oh, thank God.
But I mean,
look at you today.
but I'm just saying, I knew the potential, and some women, young women, have to be patient because they want that person right now. But if you have a relationship with God and you see the potential, you know that you can't
Well,
reach your goals with that person.
the fact of the matter is, I was determined, as I am even today, 30 years later, I'm determined to make it. Now, if I have a string and some sand and some glue, I'm gonna make it. I ain't no bottom out brother. I'm going to make it. And I think that for the better part of our relationship, she had to live with somebody who was on the hustle, was on the go. That was just that's my life. That was my rhythm. I was determined. And I think if you talk about potential, because I see a lot of women who are investing in bottomless pits. I'm trying to figure out, what did you see and your eyes were closed, and they end up supplementing a relationship. In other words, you're trying to financially make up for what they're not trying to make. You trying to emotionally make up for what they're not trying to be. You trying to spiritually try to make up for something they're not even trying to achieve. And I think that, whether I'm with somebody or not, I'm going to make it. I made it my assignment in life, is not just survive, but be a success at it. And I think that's real key to anything. So, some question. What if a person's potential never becomes their reality? Then you need to stop. You need to come. You need to get off the fantasy island. You need to get off the fantasy island. I think that there's something fundamentally wrong about somebody who keeps going around and around in circles and still ending up in the same place and call that growth. It's like you go to some churches and you see a building fund project from 1978 and it's 2020, and you trying to figure out, where is the building? Where is the building? And a dream without a plan is a nightmare. And too many people, male and female, never reach their potential, never becomes a reality, because that's not what they're really trying to be. You can't be it. If you're trying to be in a monogamous relationship, you got to be monogamous. If you're trying to be a husband, you got to do the things that and learn how to do the things to become a good, healthy husband. You can give up being perfect. You ain't gonna be a perfect wife, but you got to do the things whatever you want to become. You got to do the things to become that. If you want to become a basketball player, Allen Iverson, you got to go to practice. We're talking about marriage. That's what we're talking about. Marriage. We talking about marriage. That's what we're talking about. Marriage. Marriage, marriage, marriage. We ain't talking about hooking up. We ain't talking about if it works. We ain't talking about if you're happy all the time. We ain't talking about if the sex is great. We ain't talking about if we got enough money. We end up counting companies. They want to have all. When we got married, we was broke. We broke. We didn't have the O in broke. We were just BRKE, broke. I mean, literally. We were broke. Somebody subsidized the honeymoon. Somebody subsidized what you call it, reception that we had at Sweet Holy Spirit at the Red Church.
It wasn't just somebody. Tell the truth, it was my mother.
All right. And we were smart enough for the honeymoon. I'm just straight off Alaska and Lake. When we talking about going, so I was like, maybe we go to St. Louis or we go to Memphis.
I think that was the first time
or we drive to Detroit. And so somebody said, well, call a travel agent. And travel agent said, well, have you considered an inclusive?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm a tourist. I'm a tourist. I ain't, I'm a tourist. I thought she said, no, that's when, everything is included and you don't have to buy no food. I said, you ain't got to buy no food. You ain't got to buy no food, everything. I said, hey. So we went to Cancun on inclusive. And we literally, the day of the wedding, on a Sunday, the only Sunday wedding at Sweet Holy Spirit, in the rain. Red Church seat 900 people. Over 1,000 people came to a wedding on a Sunday in the rain, and we were broke. And here's the thing: when we get to the hotel, because we had to stay over to catch the plane the following day, we had people had given. We had like 2 or 3 coffee makers. That was back in the day. They didn't have no curry like y'all got now. We had 2 or 3 coffee makers. We had 3 or 4 toasters. But we had all these little envelopes. And we were like, well, what's in the envelope? And we open up the envelope. There's a check and another check and another check and a few dollars. We had, people had given so much. We ended up opening our first checking account, right?
On the train.
All for our gifts from our wedding day. That's how broke we were. we were going on our honeymoon. Hey, as far as we knew, we were gonna be broke, and here we are, had enough to start from just stepping out. But it's again, what are you trying to be? Not what you hope to be. Well, I hope it work out. I pray it work out. Faith without works is dead, being alone. But hey, Monica, it's important that if you're trying to build a relationship, if you're trying to build a family, that's where I think it starts. I think that's where the fight is lost. That people stop trying and you start expecting your spouse or your mate to be something you're not even trying to be. You want him to be a husband and you still being a girlfriend. You want her to be a wife and you still being a boo. Yeah. And so y'all come home like it's a date. Y'all have all these crazy rules about you're supposed to pay the rent. Well, if everybody sleep in the house, everybody pay. Ain't no you pay the I guess you said, well, you only get to use 1 light bulb this month because you only paid half of the bill. You don't get to watch all the cable channels. It's all that kind of crazy configuration that goes on in a relationship that keeps people from really becoming one. I really believe in the word of God. The two become one. And I came into a relationship with a whole lot of issues. All right. How did you feel about marrying a divorcee?
Well, when I met my husband, I already knew what I was getting into because he had a son and he was divorced. I did not have any issues. I think there were some people around me they had more of an issue than I did. For example, my grandfather, remember, he said we would go visit him, and he would make comments because he was older, and but it did not hurt me. He said what was the comment? He said I had a ready-made family. You married.
Yeah, but Christine was.
But my grandmother stood up.
Christine had the Holy Ghost.
My grandmother said, "This is the man for rock." Now my grandfather had Parkinson's, and he was getting a little senile, but he had enough sense to say that when I introduced him to who I was getting ready to marry, and he saw Tavis. But my grandmother said, "This is the man that I know is for my granddaughter." That was the end of that. But I knew he was for me. I didn't have any problems marrying someone. I didn't feel that I was secondhand. I didn't feel I was being second class because I knew who I was. And when you know who you are, you don't have those insecure feelings or insecure thoughts. Secondly, he didn't treat me like that. And I didn't think of myself like that. So that never entered. And even to this day, I never had that thought.
I think that was one of the things that was that honestly was when I say attractive, it was a quality that I could appreciate because of where I was. I didn't want to be committed to nobody. I didn't want to be connected to nobody. So we started out this relationship. This is my friend. Everyone went, this is my friend. 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 That's your friend.
There's
Yeah, that's
a
my
story
friend.
behind this.
This
I
is my
tried
friend.
to mention it
And
earlier.
so my thing was I didn't want to have to, and I know it's gonna come off a certain way, but ain't no way to say it. I didn't have to answer to nobody. I didn't want nobody to be tracking me. Back then, you had them big square
beepers,
phones,
right?
you had beepers, you had pagers. I didn't want nobody paging me every 15 minutes. I didn't want nobody looking over my shoulder. I want all of that because, as far as I was concerned, if you wanted to know something, I would tell you. So it was on you whether or not you can handle it. But it was important to me to have somebody who could trust me as I was then and just take it the way it was. So I didn't have to deal with nobody. So that was one of the things like she ain't, people were like, she ain't blowing up your phone, she ain't blowing up your pager. She ain't I would get on an airplane, I'll fly to Atlanta, get on a plane, fly here. She would pick Tavis up. She did all that kind of stuff. And like, and other females be around, all this kind of stuff. Girl was holding it down. I mean, she held it down. Wasn't like, who is she? And she better not be looking at her. She all in your face and blase, skipping all this kind of stuff. I ain't have to go through that. I didn't have to. You can't be around her, and I don't like the way she looked. I don't like the way she act. No, I didn't have to deal. So that was a turn on for me because and it became like a deal. Like, well, maybe this girl maybe she got God on her side or something because because in a lot of ways things in a crazy kind of way would work out me being with her more than being with anybody else. So it was like maybe God trying to tell you something, and you need to pay attention to what's going on. And I think that was, even when she talks about her grandfather, her grandmother was like, oh my, like
Medea.
she was another grade of Medea, because she lived in Cairo, so they gotta drive all the way from Chicago to Cairo, which seems like the end of the world, although it's just at the end of the state of Illinois. But it's the longest ride down 57 you don't want to take in your life. And if you want to go somewhere and don't know if you're gonna get there, drive down to Cairo, and I'll see what kind of road dog you are. But so we go to Cairo, and I have to sleep in one room, and they sleep in another room. So in the middle of the night, early in the morning, I'm hearing this water running, and it just keeps running and running. I'm saying to myself, these people sure use a lot of water around here. I mean, the water is just running. I mean, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. And all of a sudden I hear the sound. Thank you, Jesus. Thank
Oh,
you,
you
Jesus.
said that.
Thank you, Jesus.
I do not believe you did.
Thank you, Jesus. And I sat up in the bed and I said, I may not get out of here alive because this might be a cult or something. Thank this water running. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. And about half an hour later, bathroom door, only one bathroom door open, water cut off, ain't nothing but quiet. I said, I gotta I gotta get right because I may not be around very long. And that was a grandmother, Christine, who was you talk about a person that was all that and then some. That was a grandmother. But those are the early days of again being a single father, being in a developing relationship, trying to discover yourself as a ministry, developing as a leader. All of these things were happening at the same time.
One thing you're forgetting.
What's that?
That you have to tell them. You made the comment how you thought you didn't want nobody hanging on you, no beefing. In a relationship, you wanted to run the show, right? Remember one evening we were at Evergreen Plaza in the parking lot because some people need to know that. And you thought you were all tough, even in the parking lot, and you were calling me friend still. And I had to
Yeah, because
remind you, we were no longer friends.
my roommates was like, "Yo, man, this friend thing is getting old because you keep on introducing her as your friend, all this kind
And
of
I
stuff."
thought it was very old.
Then I don't know where here come my mama, Mother Lenore. Man, you need to make up your mind what you're gonna do because Robin is concerned, and
No.
we you need a ring. She at least need an engagement ring or something. You ain't got to set no date, but you got to at least give her a ring or something. So I just listen, and I call me. So I figured if you say something, it's gonna be something. So I was listening. So that in that same time frame used to be a place. It's more of a different type of setting now called Evergreen Plaza. And so I don't know how we end up going to Evergreen Plaza. We went to Evergreen Plaza, and this was back when Montgomery Wars was major. Those of y'all don't go back that far. Montgomery Wars like Target. It was like a Chicago Target, and it was, and everybody went to Wars or service merchandise. You don't know nothing about service merchandise or Zayre. Y'all, you got to be an OG to understand that. And so we sitting in the parking lot. I said, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you right now before we get out the car. So she turned to me, and when she get real hyped up, she turned red. So she red and all red in the face. I just need to tell you that I ain't your friend. I ain't what we do. Friends don't do. So I was like, well, what are you trying to say? What we do. Friends don't do. I'm more than a friend, and you can't keep introducing me as no friend. And now that things is being resolved with your divorce and everything like that. I ain't no friend. So I got real smart in a hurry because we was right outside of service merchandise. I got real smart. I said, well, let's go ahead and look for a ring.
So my first ring, everyone, this new generation does not know anything about service merchandise. Was from service merchandise. I wore that ring like
that was first engagement ring.
Big diamond.
Hey, dog got to do what a dog got to do. And I mean, my thing was this was somebody that I wanted to be with. This is somebody that wanted to be with me. And we didn't have the means. We didn't have the money to be bling and all that. And quite honestly, y'all, back then, and it should be now that Rona's here, that's not the stuff that's gonna keep you anyway. The size of your ring, you want them to spend a certain amount of money on a ring, and you can't pay your rent. You want them to spend a certain amount of money on your ring, and you ain't got no money saved up. I'm not saying that we had it like that because we didn't, but we've learned so much since then. And had it not been for that experience, because if you really work at it like we worked at it, you can have several rings after a while. All right. And realize that life is not about one time, it's about many times that you create something called eternity. And so part of the challenge for us was those moments where we could make a decision. Either we're gonna stay stuck or we're gonna make a move. We had to make a move. And in every relationship, those seasons where you gotta make a move, you gotta step up, you gotta accept responsibility, you gotta exercise faith, or a new word for faith is out. They haven't put it on CNN yet. It's called risk. You gotta take a risk, because there are no guarantees. You got to take a risk, and that was my greatest apprehension, was taking a risk. That was my greatest my greatest dilemma, was taking a risk, because I did not want to fail again. I did not want to fail again. I did not want. I'm gonna say it one more time. I did not want to fail again. And I realized, and equally so, I didn't want to participate in messing up somebody else's life. I mean, I just didn't. I am a loner by nature, and I'm gonna make it. I want you to know I'm gonna make it. Now, whether or not I'm gonna make it. And I made up in my mind. I made up in my mind that I'm determined to make it. Click that right there. I'm determined to make it. And I'm if I'm going to be responsible, this is what gets me. Relationship requires responsibility, and I'm going to end up being responsible for this girl. I'm going to be responsible for the birth of both of my kids. I am telling you, I was under enough pressure, and the fact that I don't have high blood pressure is a blessing, because I've been stroked out. I was stroked out. I just, oh my God, I said, I don't gotta be a father. I gotta be somebody's daddy, not once but twice. And if they don't eat, it's gonna be my fault. If they don't have somewhere to stay, it's gonna be my fault. If they don't have something to wear, it's gonna be my fault. If they get sick, I gotta get them to the hospital. I mean, I gotta go to plays. I gotta go to games. I gotta make sure she can't be looking ragged and ratchet and all, you know. I mean, that was a huge responsibility for me. And to accept the responsibility, that's what gets me. How do you get in these relationships and take no responsibility at all? No financial responsibility, no psychological responsibility, because I come from a crazy family. Now, I ain't gonna say nothing about her family because they everywhere, but I come from a crazy family, all right? And you blending these families. You know, we have a new dog named Simba, and we just got him back from the vet, and we just discovered he got some problems. And Ms. Grant said, "Why he got some?" I said, "Because he mixed. He's genetically mixed, and he got problems because he's mixed." And many of us have problems because we mixed. We mix with different people and different experiences and different backgrounds. And then you try to blend that and mix that with somebody else. And I'm like, I don't know if I can sustain and keep the ingredients, keep the recipe rolling like that. And it takes responsibility. How did you guys handle changing or challenging time? Challenging time. One of the things, good to see you, Ashley. One of the things is me coming out of a divorce, and Robin never having been through divorce. She moved out of her daddy's house into my house, for the record. So she ain't never like been out nowhere. How do you know? Well, you can't count college, because your daddy drove up to feed y'all every 2 weeks, so y'all wasn't never really by yourself. But having said that, I don't. We have not seen challenge as abstract, right?
Exactly.
It come with it. It's like it's gonna rain in the summertime. It's gonna snow in the winter. What's the problem? That's what raincoats and umbrellas and
Have to
salt.
deal with it.
You gotta deal with it. And we end up counseling couples in the money ran out. It's gonna run out a whole, it's a whole lot. You know, this ain't the first time we've been on lockdown, some of us. Some of us come from backgrounds, you better not leave the porch. You better not leave the front yard. You better not come out. Some of us were locked in our rooms as kids. You better not come out of that room. You come out of that room, someone happen. It will bust your head. I mean, we come out of challenging times where the money run out by the 15th of the month, or a sick loved one got to move in, and you got to give up your room. I lived with my sister uh, until she had her first baby, and then I could sleep on the couch. My junior and senior year of high school, it didn't even enter my mind I didn't have my own room. It was like, okay, I just slept on the couch. I mean, I had a little closet, a little face cloth and whatnot, little bathroom, little apartment, 448 North Sawyer. It ain't phased me. I was like, hey, we eating every day. We got heat, we got electricity, we got transportation. We were making it. It's amazing how many of you all cannot accept that challenges are part of what we wearing tonight. Challenges are what make champions. Challenges are what make you good at dealing with better times. Challenges are what help you become, uh,
You grow up.
you grow up.
Grow up.
Yeah,
You make better decisions.
you make better decisions. I mean, we've been to hell and back. I mean, when I say God took care of us, I did not say we hit the lottery. When I said God took care of us, I did not say we was riding around in Escalades. I said God took care of us. I did not say that we came into thousands and thousands of dollars. There are times when God took care of us by getting us from today to tomorrow. God took care of us by getting us from Sunday to Sunday. You don't know how many of your pastors, their families live from Sunday to Sunday. And I'm talking these new breed pastors, especially now after Rona, there's all these grandiose ideas talking about I'm gonna have a 401k plan and they're gonna give me health insurance and they're gonna hook a brother up with a month of vacation and I'm gonna have an expense account. Rona done wrecked all of that. And you don't know the challenge of having to say, hey, we got to make this tank of gas work this week. Ain't no driving no two cars. It's driving one car and we carpooling. You don't know what the challenge of it is trying to figure out a way. Your child's foot has grown in a month, two sizes, and you got to find an extra $50 to $75 to buy a new pair of gym shoes just so they are not embarrassed at school. I mean, you just and we could tell you stories right now, and you probably need to go out and take some medicine. Say, y'all been through that? Y'all went through that, and challenges. At the end of the day, you don't know how much joy it is at the end when we get home at the end of the day, and we like sitting on the side of the bed, and we like, we made it. You don't know, we made y'all be and y'all be thinking, they happy all the time. No, we glad we ain't on medication. We glad we not addicted to something because the challenges don't come with a schedule. Rona didn't come with a schedule. This virus didn't come with a schedule. This is my 25th year anniversary. This is Mother's Day weekend. This is my birthday week coming up. Let me help you with something. I had some plans. And every relationship has plans that get altered. They get altered by bills. They get altered by tragedy. You know, when her father passed, oh my God, that man was somebody. Her daddy was somebody. Her daddy, Larry Flano, was the man. I want you to know. 3 o'clock, 3:30 every day. Listen, if I had a problem, if I had a little insecurity, I was blown away because they was thick as thieves. They were gonna talk 2 or 3 times In between that, she got to talk to her mom. He's standing in the kitchen with his coffee cup. He didn't actually have coffee in it, y'all, but his coffee cup. And it actually had coffee in it. Deacon Flador didn't actually have coffee. The coffee cup, but hey, as long as you see the coffee cup, you say, hey, he drink coffee all day. But he was gonna stand in that kitchen and they were going to talk like they haven't talked in months. Like they hadn't talked in months. They're gonna talk and there wasn't no breaking up that relationship. So she had a family that was tight. She was tight with her mom. So she had a mom and a daddy that was together, a sister and a brother. They had a tight family. So that was a culture shock for me for them to have that kind of relationship. And I had to learn. I had to learn how to have, because in a lot of respects, those women who have fathers end up doing two things. They either want a man with some of the characteristics of a father, or they don't want a man that has anything like their daddy. They want one or two things. And men are somewhat like that to some degree, but women more so than men. And it became important to learn how they had such a close relationship. And one of the things that they did is they talked. And I am not, I don't have to do a lot of that. I need to say what I got to say, and I need to be done with it. Women like to talk, and they like to talk, and they talk. They can stop and start. They can wake up and talk. They can go and sleep and talk, and be in the dream talking, and wake up and pick up with the same conversation. They are communicators. I had to learn that, and a lot of challenges are become insurmountable because you don't talk. Nobody sits down and says it ain't no situation that how this happened. It doesn't happen. Isn't that y'all have another baby? It's cause y'all was having sex. That's how you get pregnant. You got pregnant because y'all been doing it. That's how you got pregnant. Okay, now why you got them bills? Cause you using up electricity. You spending money. What happened to the money? You spent it. Go look in the closet. Go look in the refrigerator. Go look on your feet. Go look around your waist. Go look on top of your head. Hair. Now Rona done. Lord have mercy. Y'all see what Rona done? Rona done took out nails and stockings and heels and hair and everything everything else. Rona done changed the world. Let me help you. But nobody sits down and says, okay, if you want to spend like that, we got to have a conversation about money around here rather than a fight about it. I don't know nobody who fights over money wins. I don't know nobody who fights over who raised the children wins. I don't know nobody who fights over the condition of a house wins. I'm talking about either party. Usually there's always two losers and a bunch of casualties. There has to be some means of communicating. And the person who did the most, I never forget our first counseling session was with Dr. Eugene Gibson, the senior pastor of the Mission of Faith Baptist Church on South Indiana in Chicago. Eugene Gibson, look him up. His son Geno Gibson pastors in Memphis, Tennessee, and he just recently got married. And I come in there with all my, I was on my game and everything. I always had a notebook and a briefcase. Y'all don't know about a briefcase, but a briefcase, boy.
And a big watch.
You had to have all the stuff on. If you wasn't in business, you had to look like you was in business. I had a briefcase, and I had hair then, and I had waves. And, hey, look up some old pictures. The brother had it going on, and so I rolled into the session. And I made in my mind, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let him know I got an appointment, and so I wouldn't be lying. I actually set an appointment so I could, I set somebody, meet somebody that's the Holy Spirit, and I showed up on time to let him know I ain't gonna be about 15, 20 minutes because I gotta get out of here. So I rolled him down, and Miss Polly Purebred, she's sitting there ready for it, got a notepad and her Bible and everything. As I rolled in there, checking my little pager, because I got to be theatric about it. And I said, Doc, I'm glad, I appreciate you spending this time with us and everything. And I got to be out in 15, 20 minutes. He said, not today.
I didn't have a Bible. You told people I had a Bible.
Oh, you had a Bible. She had a
I had a
Bible.
notebook.
She had a Bible back there because she was missionary Robin
no,
Lenore.
I did not.
She was missionary Robin Lenore. Ask Pastor Neil. Pastor Neil, Promised Land, New Promised Land Baptist Church. She was missionary Robin Lenore, and calling him always somewhere between a smile and a grin. Missionary Robin Lenore. And Dr. Gibbs said, you ain't leaving here till I'm done. And for an hour and a half, that man drilled us like we were on our way to Iraq. That man drilled us, and primarily me. He wore me out. I mean, from the beginning of the day to the end of night. Was Bishop ever emotionally unavailable? If so, how did you handle it? Good question.
Yeah, good question. Actually, there have been times because when you're married to a pastor, then a bishop, there are going to be times when um, he's going to be overwhelmed with other thoughts or other people's concerns. And so I had to learn early if he's consumed, do not judge him unfairly at the moment that his emotions are everywhere and he's not listening to what I'm saying. I don't know if that's going to help you, but there might have been times that he's drained. You know what I'm saying? And so I might have to wait.
I think the season of because prior to her father passing, we had never had like a major loss. You know, her grandfather was sick. I was at that time I was beginning stages of being reunited from being estranged to my mother. I mean, and I think that those first like 10 years of pastoring,
yeah,
you know, we were growing and
moving fast.
we were moving fast, and God was taking, we raising children. We got these two little boys. It was overwhelming, and people were coming and going, and you know, I'm trying to learn how to be all these things at the same time.
Because we were only married 1 year before you came.
Yeah, so
and I had Tavell
and then we had Tavell and Tavis, and trying to learn how to be a father, learn how to be a husband, learn how to be a pastor, learn how to be a state overseer, learn how to do all these things all at the same time. And one of the things that I learned early on is you got to have separation from what you do and who you are. And if there was an unavailability, that's where the gap was. Because the first 10 years we lived next door to the church. So, you know, you imagine wherever you work is next door.
And people will knock on your door.
Wherever you work right now, just imagine if you work at the mill, the mill is next door. If you work at the hospital is next door. If you work at the restaurant, when you wake up in the morning, your place of work is right next door 7 days a week. So people would come to our house around the clock. There were people that knew my schedule better than I knew my schedule. They'd be sitting on my porch. I knew you was coming. I figured you'd be here about this time. You got $10, you know, this kind of thing. I mean, we had people that, this was before social media. We had people that found us by word of mouth. And so somebody told me you help people. Have you guys ever faced anxiety or depression in your relationship? If so, how you handle it? And that's a very timely question. And the answer is yes. And I never shall forget that Pastor Nelson, his wife Jennifer Nelson, they pastor here in the city of East Chicago. He asked me about going to play golf, and I said I don't know nothing about playing golf, and so I said okay. So we went to a golf course near here, and I loved it. And the reason why I loved it because it was like a getaway. It was like for 2 hours, and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know. I just said, "Wow, this is amazing," and it became a safety valve for me to begin to let go and to release and so on and so forth. And then some
Well, let me
members
say
came.
this, even with the golf, remember, I would ask them, when's your next golf game? Because I would know when you needed it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not trying to be, no, maybe sometimes sarcastic or being funny, but most of the time I knew that would help you.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was very therapeutic. And so one of the couple of members says Bishop Jakes is doing a pastors leadership conference in Dallas, and we want to send you a first lady. Y'all can do that again whenever that starts back up. We want to send you and first lady. So we went to Dallas, and some of Jake's people found out that we were there, and they took us on a tour. This is when he first moved to Dallas. Took us on. Boy, it was just so invigorating. It was, we were like away and everything. And I'll never forget the closing message of that conference. And Bishop Jakes taught a message on Moses and Moses missing the promised land. And one of the points in the message was Moses missed the promised land because he made God's people his people. And Bishop Jake's point was the people you pastor are not your people. Your church is your wife. Your church is your family. Your ministry is your wife and your family. And I left that conference, and I say it over and over again. It's even in my prayer on a regular basis. I remind God, this is your church, and these are your people. And a part of dealing with that depression, because my mother was mentally ill. She almost died before she eventually died. I mean, a lot of my personal life was in disarray compared to what you saw in public. And you saw all the pieces of the puzzle. If you came back to the house, you see the box and a bunch of missing pieces. And the anxiety that many of us experience and the depression, we end up trying to subdue it spiritually. I'm gonna pray and I'm gonna fast and I'm gonna bind that spirit and all that kind of stuff. And I'm with all of that. But if you don't acknowledge it for what it really is, if you don't acknowledge what it is, and then have people around you that you can trust, that you can sometimes vent, that can sometimes correct you, that sometimes can direct you, and out of that experience, a couple of people have gone on to meet the Lord, but the Lord has put people in my life that when I reach that point, I can turn to them and say, I don't know how much more of this I can handle. I am overwhelmed. I can admit my breaking point and not be judged
And without being
numerically about my church. I can acknowledge that I am weak in an area and not be judged by my sermon. And I think many people in ministry go through that, particularly in their marriage, that they have improper models of people who live one thing in public. It's almost like they have a marriage of arrangement. And now you gonna be the wife, and I'm gonna be the husband, and you gonna be nice, and I'm gonna be cute, and then you go do what you want to do, and I do what I want to do, and we ain't gonna tell. I can't live like that. One of the things I need. I don't need. I would love a mansion. It would be wonderful. Limousine service, helicopter, private jet. It would be wonderful. But none of that means anything if I can't come home and be happy. I don't need total satisfaction. I just need to come home and there be some peace and some understanding. I need a space where I can come and say, this is mine. I need that. I don't need, I can get all the other stuff, but I need to come to a place where this is where I want to be. Listen to me, and they want me here. I want to be here, and they want me to be here, and the two are mutually exclusive because there are times they don't want you.
I want you here, and I'm waiting for
there are
you.
times when they done told you, you better not come back. And you got to come back because you ain't got nowhere to go. But what happens is, I don't think that what we've discovered and I've discovered is the relationships that have longevity do not have the trappings of materialism, do not have the overextended, hyped up spiritualism where you got, oh, we got a prayer, she got a prayer room, and I got a prayer room, and she got a prayer closet. I need, y'all don't take this any kind of way y'all want to. I need some other than prayer. Prayer is great. It's a phenomenon. But I need some other than prayer. I need some other than prayer. I'm just, that's all I can tell you. I can't tell you, and I don't want to have to show you. But I need some balance. And I can't have a wife that's away at a prayer retreat 16 days. I can't do it. 'Cause I'm not gonna be away 16 days at no prayer retreat. All right. All right. When I get through doing what I'm doing, I'll come home. I ain't had no time where I'm stopped by the church to be with the Lord for the next 40 hours. Now I'm coming home, be with my wife, and then she be my Lord until me and the Lord get up the next day and go and do the Lord's business. You need balance. And unless you're able, part of that balance is recognizing, hey, my wife is going through something right now. My children are going through something right now. Our family is going through something right now. Acknowledging it and dealing with it. I'm going through something right now. It is that kind of balance that creates an equilibrium that internally and privately you don't have to be perfect. I think that's what kills a lot of people. You can't be privately perfect because you ain't publicly perfect. And what people see in the street is what you don't see in the mirror. And you can't line them up. So you go and buy a new bag, you go and buy a new ring, you buy a bigger watch, you get another car, you go on another trip, you do all this stuff, and you just blinging and banging in public. And then you get home and you can't reconcile that when you take all of that stuff off, like I'm gonna get you sucker. And the lady said, oh, you love me. And she take her hair off and take her leg off and take her this off and take that. When you take all that stuff off, I need somebody that can love the bishop, but be in love with me.
And have fun.
Yeah, and have fun.
And have fun.
I love the first lady.
Because the fun.
Yeah.
Let me tell them about the fun part.
What's the fun part?
Having fun. You have to laugh. Like this past Saturday, I did not know he was going to surprise me. It was our anniversary. I came in and he had Luther playing. And he had a black and white shirt on. He was singing. So that's fun. And candles on the
and flowers.
On the
Keep
table.
going.
And the thing I found out,
Keep going.
we had been in
No.
We
Keep going.
We didn't have keep going.
Yeah.
We
flowers.
He cooked. That's what he's trying to get me to tell. He cooked. He had roses, and he had
anniversary.
And he said happy anniversary. He sang.
Yeah.
And
it was flowers,
lamb chop,
steak and lamb. Lamb and steak. 2 meats.
Baked potato.
Tell Sandra right here. I cooked 2 meats. 2 deuces.
2 meats. He was in the kitchen.
And flowers.
The food was delicious.
And candles.
But the point I'm trying to make.
Asparagus.
I was completely surprised.
Asparagus.
And it was fun.
Asparagus.
As long as we've been in our house and together, always on anniversary. We had Ruth Chris somewhere. But this time we were in our own home.
Asparagus sounds like a cocaine dealer's name. My name is asparagus.
Well, asparagus. I forgot the vegetable. Asparagus.
My name is asparagus.
Green beans. You want me to go through the whole menu? Green beans. All of this. he prepared
Oh,
and
wait a minute.
salad.
Wait, baked potato
Yeah,
and roasted potato.
and rolls, but the food was delicious. He had everything set out, and it was
you were
fun.
surprised. You
And
were
I-
surprised, I mean.
It was fun. It was fun.
Because she thought we was doing a photo shoot. See, some of y'all ain't got no game. You gotta learn how to hook a sister up. She thought we was doing a photo shoot, and,
That's what I was
everybody played their part except her mama. We didn't tell her mama nothing until the last hour, and she couldn't hold that. But you ain't gonna make it being spiritual all the time. I'm telling you right now. You ain't gonna I'm praying for you up in the middle of the night praying for your husband. It's some other things you need to be doing. You out running revivals and everything. It's some other things you need to be doing because you're not going, no table can make it on 3 legs. You need 4, and that's what gives it balance.
So he was Luther.
That's right.
Go ahead and sing for him.
Here and now. Don't get me started because I have people calling me I have Teddy Riley call me want to battle me or something like that, and I want to be embarrassed. I want to embarrassed. Stay where you at, Teddy. Stay. I didn't say Teddy Pendergrass. I said Teddy Riley.
You forgot you had a mic.
Yes, I had a mic.
You had a mic.
Hey, go big or don't go at all.
He had a mic.
Go big or don't go at all. If you ain't going big, don't go at all. And let me help you with something. There are, when it comes to, here's my thought about it, because I do a lot of, what are the words? Here and now. Hey, Letice, don't start no stuff. I'll make up my own words.
Oh, he gonna make it because he had this.
I will
What's
make
the word?
my own words because I don't need Luther to talk for me. Now, but you gotta be willing to do some things that we went on. One of our first dates was on the Spirit of Chicago. I don't know how it happened. We got a picture somewhere. And let me tell you something.
It was awesome.
We had no idea. I don't know how we ended up on the Spirit of Chicago. I think it was for a birthday or something.
No, it was for work. They gave me
They bought tickets. And I think it was an anniversary or something. And so, you got to go on. Back then they had no website, so you had to know the schedule. We were on a nursing home trip.
I thought it was going to be fun.
It was a nursing home. They were playing Frank Sinatra. They were playing Dean Martin. So they see we walk in the place and ain't none of us up in there. Ain't no DJ, ain't no Luther, ain't no LTD, ain't no Whispers, ain't no nothing. We up there, Chicago, my city, Chicago. Going on there, and
this lady made him dance.
It's a nursing home. It's a nursing home.
You got to get up and dance.
It's a nursing home. You say you smell Bengay and mentholators on the lake. It's a nursing home, and we sitting there eating white chicken and white potatoes. Everything was bland. I mean, I guess everybody had a health problem on that. I said, how did this happen? And I think as soon as we got off the boat, we went to Maxwell Street. As soon as we got Polish and pork chop, I said, I gotta get my black card renewed. We went to Maxwell Street, and you just learn how to like things that are just crazy, that just don't make sense. You just end up making something out of them, and you end up
to laugh.
You end up and something that could have been a catastrophe turns into a comedy show, and you years later you looking at a picture of something, you drive down there and say, well, I bet you won't never go down there no more. I bet you won't do that no more. Because it's a part of, it's like good movies. They have to have some tragedy. They have to have something traumatizing. They have to have something you overcome, something you look back on and say, I want to see that part again and see them make it. You want to see Rocky get up again. You want to see You want to see Denzel and Equalizer 2. You want to see him do his thing. You want to see it. You want to see Ali get up again. You want to hear him say the champ is here. You want that. Marriages need that. Now, anything that gets a lot of sunshine and no rain is going to dry up. Anything that gets a lot of rain is going to drown. You need balance. And God, it's a crazy thing. And I'm really saying this, you guys. One of the things that just throws people off is what may work for us may be a nightmare for you. All right. Hey, if you that kind of stuff, you gotta be popping off and running, making threats, and then I ain't that kind of brother. I ain't, and I'm not that kind of person. I ain't throwing no whoop ticket. Man. You gotta do this, and I deal with enough drama. I don't need that at home. I don't need to have to fight in the street, marching and protesting, and laying hands and dealing with sickness and disease and problems, and then I gotta come home and strap up, fight. And fight my way, into my own. Some people can do that. They ain't for me. So I need a different type of person to complement my personality. And what may work for us, all of it may not work for you. And we have learned. We've intentionally exposed ourselves, right, to various different types of couples that have different types of relationships and come away saying, I know that ain't gonna work in our house.
Or you pick up something positive.
Or you pick up something positive and you say, man, that I want to try that. And so many of you are excluded from healthy people. It's as if you go into the relationship already knowing what to do. You don't know how many times we do married couples said, and we have people. I know that's right. How you know that's right? Y'all about to stab each other in the throat. I know that's right. She better do my feet. I know that's right. He better rub my back. That's right. And can't talk to each other. I mean, literally can't talk to each other. And you have to. Life is about two things: exposure and experience. One without the other, you ain't gonna make it. You need to be exposed to some people with money to learn how to handle money. You need the experience of not having money. So when you pair those things together, you say, listen, you saw everybody with money right now, they dealing with this crisis totally different than people who don't have no money, people who have been at the bottom. Food lines ain't no thing. People who've been at the bottom, going to Family Dollar. We were going to Family Dollar before Rona. We were going to Dollar Tree before Rona. And you all embarrassed going, I'm going to go early in the morning because I don't want nobody to see me shopping at Dollar. You better take your tail up in there and do what you can to take care of you and your family until things get better. It's exposure and experience. I never shall forget, our pastor took us all the way out to Barrington 2 or 3 times to see Willow Creek Church, to meet Bill Hybels. One of the best things that ever happened to me. Flew us all the way to New Orleans to meet Bishop Morton. Never changed. Went all the way to Texas, all the way to Dallas to meet Bishop Jakes. Meet Benny Hinn, meet various ones. And Bishop Blake. It has changed my life from having exposure and experience, because in many times God will give you a preview of your potential by exposing you to people of two persuasions: those that you don't want to be and those that you don't have to be, because you can always be yourself. And I think that a part of that is in these 30 years, I ain't a lot of things. I ain't Denzel. I ain't a lot of things.
You might Denzel.
Oh, gone, babe.
You mine.
Go on, babe. Go on with your bad. Go with your bad stuff. We some time ago, you can find it somewhere on social media. We did this thing on Cookie and Lucius, because I did this series on Empire. And you don't know how many people almost lost their minds. There's a man of God and a woman of God acting like that, because, hey, What's wrong with trying to be something on another level? What's wrong with trying to have a vision of what you and your family and your life could be like? A life without a vision is like driving without headlights. You can only get by in the daytime.
It went viral.
And it went viral. You ought to pick it up and look at it.
Oh, no.
Because it was really something we just did amongst ourselves, but we exposed the public to it. Like we ain't supposed to aspire, we ain't supposed to mimic. Everybody can portray the preacher, but the preacher can't portray nobody. And I think it's important, guys, that you take this experience, and we wanted to share tonight in a very special way. We are not them. It's some couples they own every day. Yeah, we on our way to Walmart. Come on in the room. One of the things you need. Before I leave it tonight? One of the things you do need. You need a private life. Too many of you expose too much of yourself in the public domain that's not for public consumption. I'm being very serious about that. Both husbands and wives, men and women. Too many of you, the series Scandal at the Cross. Too many of you, you loathe this public attention. You're addicted to the likes and the shares on social media, and you expose parts of your life that you can never straighten out once people get it. You can never correct it. And you get so far out there you can't get back, because it's a difference in swimming in a swimming pool and swimming in a lake. It's a difference. It's the size, it's the body of the water, and it's the ability of the swimmer. And every relationship, wow, I wasn't even planning to tell you this. Every relationship needs some privacy, needs some me time and some us time. Every relationship. This is what bothers me. That you out with somebody doing what you doing, whatever, you get upset with them, you want to put it on blast. Where you go first place, you want to go to Facebook. Yo, I want y'all to come in. I want to tell y'all what he did. And to tell y'all one toe is bigger than the other. I want to tell y'all that he ain't all that and whatnot. I had to teach him this, that, and she ain't all that. And when I met her, but when I was making you happy, when I was pleasing you, when I was paying the bills, we was cool. But now you want to take private and make it public. And what you don't know is you reap what you sow. You need me time and you need us time. And it doesn't come with a schedule. You don't get a calendar where you get to say, well, the third week of June, we're going to go. No, sometimes the time you need, you have to take it. The time you need, you have to take it before it's taken from you. If there's anything we're learning. So she talked about, we couldn't go to a restaurant. This is our anniversary. Now, you know what I could have done? And she may not say, I could have done. I said, babe, when this thing is over, you know how they get down. I'm going to take care of you when it's all over. When it's all over, I'm already to work. I'm already got plans. And you say, okay, baby. And I might could have taken that option. But guess what? There ain't no guarantee it's going to be over. So I had to use whatever power, like the Godfather. Use your powers. You tell me, use all of your powers to put my son back together. I had to use all of my powers to have an anniversary celebration at home. With candles like I would at a restaurant. I had to use all of my powers to do it.
Actually, it was more fun.
And it was more fun, and we save money, and we don't have the virus. What am I saying to you? You got to take time to take care of you, to be well enough spiritually, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, to be well enough for somebody to be well enough for you. And then you have to take the time together. I know you got kids. I know we've been through all of that. We've been through the kid route. We empty nesters now, and what they don't tell you is you don't never get rid of your kids. They may go away, but they always come back. All right. We end up babysitting for our niece and all that kind of stuff. No regret, because she need a life, and I understand it, and it make me kind of sort of feel like a grandfather. So it's a little get over for me. But at the end of the day, I think what's most fundamental is you need to keep your private life out of the lives of people who can't handle your private life. So there's a lot of our members are watching us right now. They're, oh, hey, he said that. Well, he ain't never said that. Then why he wait to get on Facebook and say that? You still don't know. It's a whole lot you don't know, and you ain't gonna know because we don't have that kind of lifestyle as leaders, and we don't have that kind of lifestyle. I need my wife at the end of the day to be more my wife than your first lady, and at the end of the day, I need to be more her man than your pastor. I need a private life. And so many couples don't, well, whatever your vocation is, you don't have to be a pastor or pastor's wife of all of that to need a private life. You need a private life. If you don't know them, get in the car. We started doing late last year. We started taking staycations. We get in the car and drive to Chicago. We took a staycation at the beginning of this year, last year.
Yep.
Took a staycation and spent some time downtown Chicago. Well, I ain't going nowhere. Well, you should have seen where we went. Have you seen where we went? You've been like, whoa. But it was a staycation. We unplugged our phones. We didn't tell nobody where we were. We parked the car. Well, matter of fact, no, we didn't take the car. We didn't take the car. So we didn't have no car, no nothing, no phones, no nothing. We didn't have no social media interaction. Everybody thought we was gone somewhere, and we were, all right. And we had a ball. We had a better time in Chicago than we've had in places we paid to go. Why? Because any two people can make the worst place paradise if they work together. Any two people can make the worst place a paradise if they work together. I'm gonna say it one more time. Any two people can make a place a paradise. I used to have a member, Lillian Bates. She lives in Indianapolis now. Lillian Bates lived over, it's gone now, West Calumet. Lillian Bates had a big TV before big TV was in. You walked in her house, she had wall-to-wall carpet, she had air conditioner, she had all this up in her. I said, you got more stuff than people have in a house twice, three times the size. I'm gonna live the way I'm gonna live. Any two people can make the worst place a paradise if they work together. And it's not about money, it's not about status, it's about your determination to make it one way or another. I've enjoyed this. How about you, Scooby? Huh?
I enjoyed it.
Little Joe. Maybe next week I'll tell
I
y'all
enjoyed it.
the little Joe lesson. Little Joe lesson. We got a lot of stories we can tell y'all, have y'all laughing and sometimes crying. But it's been really, really, really a treat to be with you all tonight. And if you want us to do it again, inbox me. If you want us to do it more frequently, we're in this new age now, social media, and I've always been one that's learned from others, and now I'm in a place in life where others can learn from us. And it becomes so critical in times like these to learn as much as you can, and learning is what enhances your living. I hope that you would sow a seed tonight. I hope that you would give tonight in one way or another. You can even give by phone, 219-267-0940. Cash out, Greater First Church, $ Greater First Church. Or you can give bishoptavisgrant2.org/donation. bishoptavisgrant2.org/donation. I cannot say enough about having our special guests all the way from Hammond, Indiana. And I know you must leave. I know your entourage is out there waiting.
They're waiting.
The camera, the photographers are waiting, and I know you have other engagements later on tonight. I understand you're running a healing and deliverance service later on tonight. Hey, God bless you. God bless your heart. These are healing hands. Healing hands. Hey, healing hands. But hey, I love it. And so hey, if you want us to do it again, we'll do it again. We are you know, we're in a place now that we didn't even imagine that we will be in, and God has been good to us. But God has been good to us so we can be good to you, and so we can be a blessing to you. And so take the opportunity to go to one of the sites and give by phone 219-267-0940, Cash App, $ Greater First Church, and or you can give at bishoptavisgrant2.org/donation. I want to take this time to pray, and I don't pray facetiously. I don't pray for the purpose of just praying, but I do believe in the power of prayer. And we receive so many testimonies of God healing families and relationships and churches and ministries and individuals. And you know, we've done a lot about our marriage, but guess what? We were single before we were married. And we just might the next week we just might talk about our singleness in a very transparent way, because a lot of so-called saved people don't want to tell all of their singleness, in hopes of helping you grow and become what God has called you to be. Father, thank you for these persons tonight, across this platform, their families, their homes. I pray for their protection, pray for their health, pray for their wellness, and thank you for this opportunity. We pray that a soul might be saved, a man or woman might come to know you as their Savior and their Redeemer. And if they don't have a place, God, cause them to go to one of our platforms and join our e-church faith movement. Thank you for this opportunity, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Hey, guys, we love you.
Amen.
Don't forget, you know, I'm about to say, tough times don't last, tough people do. This is our greatest season. Live.
Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience.
When praises go up, do I have some praisers still left on this Sunday afternoon? Break out your praise right quick and let this witch know, let this demon or devil know.
Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience. Welcome to Greater First. It's the greater experience.